5. That's 10 actually. So it's 5. Week 5. Hey, so glad to have you again for this week. This is a tough one. This is a tough message. This is a tough one to work through. Here the Israelites, they have been battling. We talked about this last week. God helped them win these battles. One thing at a time, going through Jericho and then Amorites, and then it just keeps on winning these battles. God's favors on them. God has promised them, and they're winning these battles little by little, like I talked about. And then we get to this. There's some of these battles that they were underdogs and they still won, and some they were the top dog. They knew it. They're supposed to easy. They get this one that was supposed to be an easy battle, and then they get smoked. I mean, can you imagine all of a sudden God's favors on you, and all of a sudden, bam, you get to this one battle, you get smoked. And then Joshua all of a sudden has this thought like going, did we just lose God's favor? Did we just lose it? And so Joshua goes, and chapter 7, Joshua is like having this moment where he begins to pray, seeking God, saying, is there something wrong? Did we do something? And I want to read this. It's going to be up on your screen, but I'm going to read this passage because I think it clarifies what's going on really well. It's Joshua 7, 6 through 13. Here's what it says. Then Joshua tore his clothes and fell face down on the ground before the ark of the Lord, remaining there till evening. The elders of Israel did the same, and they sprinkled dust on their heads. And Joshua said, O sovereign Lord, why did you ever bring this people across the Jordan to deliver us into the hands of the Amorites, to destroy us? If only we had been content to stay on the other side. Even Joshua is saying, like, I just wish, you never brought us to if you're going to do this to us. Oh Lord, what can I say? Now that Israel has been routed by the enemies, the Canaanites and the other people of the country will hear about this, and they will surround us and wipe us the name from the earth. What then will you do for your great name? And here's what I want us to listen to. The Lord said to Joshua, stand up. Love that. Stand up. What are you doing on your face? Israel has sinned. They have violated my covenant, which I've commanded them to keep, that they've taken some of the devoted things, they have stolen, they have lied, they have put them with their own possessions. That is why the Israelites cannot stand against their enemies. Wow. They turn their backs and run because they have been made liable to destruction. I will not be with you anymore unless you will destroy whatever among you is devoted to destruction. And here's a verse I want us to read at the very end. Verse 13. Go, saying go now, get up, go, consecrate the people. All over again, consecrate the people. Tell them, consecrate yourselves in preparation for tomorrow. For this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says, that which is devoted among you, O Israel. And here's what I love. You cannot stand against your enemies until you remove it. As they go through this, and there's a whole story about it, but they finally find out it was Achan who stole it and put it in his tent. And once they found out it was Achan, they removed it. Now think about this. A nation was losing because a few people made decisions in secret. And almost like God's favor was gone. That phrase alone, you cannot stand against it until you remove it. It struck a chord with me. It's hard to stand against your enemy until you remove your enemy from your heart. This is what God's been trying to do all through the wilderness. Get that mentality out of their heart. Get the stuff. And so we cling to it. We want what we think is ours. We go after these things. And so I love what he says again. It's just like before they crossed the Jordan. We said this before, consecrate yourself, for tomorrow I will do amazing. God said the same thing again to them. There's sin in the camp, consecrate yourself so I can do something tomorrow. Today is the day we got to get our hearts ready. this is a challenge for us because I think Achan's mistake is that his own mistake held them back, but it didn't keep them back because they took care of business. Listen, I don't want what's in our hearts to hold us back. This is why it says it's good to confess one to another. This is why it's good for us to say, God, search my heart. What is in here? What are the things I've stolen? What are the things I keep in secret? What are the things I'm not letting people into? I think we have this sense of always denying. We have a denial tendency where you think, oh, I don't have a problem. Everybody else has a problem. Or you think about it this way, we keep the secret, or you think, I'm just too busy, I don't want to deal with it. If I deal with it, then it's going to slow me down. Or maybe you think like you rationalize it by saying everybody else does it. I can just do it. It doesn't hurt them. Or maybe it's pride saying I can just do it myself. And so maybe your pride saying, listen, I don't want to bring it forward. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to deal with, I don't want to be known for that. And so we end up lying. We end up doing certain things. And listen, the question is what's going on the inside? I'm going to end with this verse. Hebrews 12, 1-3 says, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that is so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and the perfecter of our faith, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. You hear that? Fixing our eyes on Jesus, running from sin, because when we have sin in the tent, this is when we grow tired and weary. This is when we carry things we're not called to carry. My prayer is let my hunger for the things of God be more hunger than anything else. Let my pursuit of God be greater than anything else. And with this last phrase, it's hard to stand against your enemy until you remove the enemy from the heart.